They say that moving on is part of life. I knew that to be true, but it didn't mean it was easy. I had carved out a sweet and wonderful world in my hometown of Ashland, Oregon, where my days were filled with baking, laughter, family, and friends. But my little hamlet was changing, and I was changing right along with it. I breathed in the dewy morning air as I turned onto Siskiyou Boulevard and was greeted by neat rows of antique lampposts lighting my path. Banners for upcoming performances of Much Ado About Nothing and Jane Eyre at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival fluttered in the light breeze. I passed bungalows and historic Victorian houses with organic gardens, fenced in an attempt to keep the deer from grazing on wild summer roses and leafy bunches of kale and arugula. It was a losing battle. Deer outnumbered people by an ever-growing ratio. It wasn't uncommon to watch a mother doe guide her spotted, spindly-legged babies through crosswalks, or to bump into herds nestled under flowering Japanese maples in Lithia Park. Our corner of southern Oregon might not be densely populated, but what we lacked in numbers, we made up for in creativity. Our community was thriving with artists of every type: musicians, actors, writers, dancers, painters, and some might even say, bakers. In my mind, there was no question my team at our family bake shop, Torte, were artists. What my staff could create out of layers of chocolate sponge and buttercream never ceased to amaze me. The only problem was two of my most talented team members were departing for greener, or perhaps in this case, wetter pastures. My sous chef, Sterling, and lead cake designer, Steph, had been offered an incredible opportunity to manage an ailing restaurant at Whaleshead Resort in a small beach town on the stunning Oregon coast. When they approached me about the possibility of taking the job, I encouraged them to go, not because I wanted to lose them, but because as a professionally trained pastry chef, I knew this was the nature of our business. Much like grains of sand shifting with the tide and wind, staff often drifted from one establishment to another, picking up new skill sets and experiences, and leaving behind their own flavorful imprints on us and the bake shop. Many other chefs had trained and mentored me on my journey to finding my way back to Ashland. I had made it my mission to do the same for my young staff, and now it was time for them to spread their wings and venture out into the great big restaurant world. I was truly excited for Sterling and Steph, but I had to admit that lately I had a propensity to break out into tears whenever I thought about how empty Torte felt without them.